next up will be Patrick Biard from Aura EE. I will spare myself the humiliation of trying to pronounce the company correctly. Patrick, you can do that since your French is by far better than mine. But before I give the word to you, I would like to show you a brief our ALPGRIDS promotional video, and then I will give the word to Patrick if that's fine with you.
Thank you, Thomas.
All right, so I'm looking for the right screen. That should be it. You should be able to see my screen again. And off we go with the ALPGRIDS promotional video. Just a second, I need to reshare again because I forgot to share the volume of the... There it is. So you should be able to see a video and hear a sound.
Alpine energy systems are currently transitioning towards climate neutrality, with more and more renewable energy being produced and consumed locally. But not only the kind of energy is changing, there is also a shift in how energy is managed. Citizens are becoming more active by producing energy locally and taking control over how it's managed, either individually or collectively. Local energy communities organize collective energy actions around open democratic participation and governance, and aim to provide social, environmental, or economic benefits to their members or the local community. Their development is now accelerated by the European Green Deal and the new and revised legislation frameworks. These energy communities are becoming more and more popular in Alpine territories. The deployment of advanced decentralized energy systems, such as microgrids, will be crucial for achieving these goals. The Interreg Alpine Space ALPGRIDS project focuses on increasing the uptake of renewable energy resources in the Alps through microgrid solutions, supporting the development of new collective actions. What are microgrids? A microgrid is a small-scale energy system that can operate independently or connected to the main grid. It groups several distributed energy resources and interconnected loads in a defined geographic area. Microgrids generally use locally available energy sources, which are mostly renewable energy sources. They can improve the local energy self-sufficiency, energy efficiency, sustainability, resilience, and cost-effectiveness of the energy supply for municipalities, communities of citizens, farmers, small enterprises. Within ALPGRIDS, ALPGRIDS aims at fostering the uptake of RES through microgrids in the Alpine regions, in close relation with the advent of energy communities. A key point is the active involvement of energy consumers. All involved in the project are convinced that the establishment of local energy communities also helps citizens to become more actively engaged in the energy transition of their region. ALPGRIDS builds on 7 pilot projects across the Alps: St. Julien and Val de Quint, Drôme, Savona, Tannhausen, WEIZ Campus, Selnice, Grafing, Municipality of Udine. These pilots are testing various configurations of microgrid solutions and supporting the implementation collective energy actions. Final results and figures from ALPGRIDS. Implementation of 7 pilots experimenting the implementation of decentralized energy systems and the creation of local energy communities. Development of an Alpine microgrid model. Working with more than 70 national, macro-regional, regional, and local policymakers in 5 countries to establish an enabling policy environment. Replicating the model in 12 Alpine territories beyond the consortium through bilateral exchanges and summer school program. Climate change is already harming people and damaging property and infrastructure. The Alpine region has a high potential for benefiting from microgrids. Become part of ALPGRIDS today.
So after seeing that very nice promotional video, Patrick, I would like to give the word to you. I will stop sharing my screen and give you the opportunity to share yours.
Thanks very much, Thomas, for this warm welcome and also for this very nice and informative video coordinated by our Energap partners in Slovenia. Just share my screen now and give you a quick update about ALPGRIDS. If it's fine with you, if you can see my screen.
Yes, it's there. Thank
you. Wonderful. So hello and welcome from my side. I'd like to thank everyone for joining our conference today. It's a great pleasure to see you all in these discussions and this conference. So today I'd like to tell you a bit more about ALPGRIDS and its contribution to the energy transition in the Alps, mainly in terms of activities and results achieved so far. So as pointed out in the video, ALPGRID's main objective is to increase the scaling up of renewables through microgrid solution in the Alps. And we talked about collective energy actions being implemented at community level. So the project is implemented within the framework of the Alpine Space Program and was started about 2.5 years ago. We are now coming to an end, although some interesting activities will continue and develop this summer, and I'll touch on this in a while. Looking at the partnerships, so we have 12 partners from 5 countries who have joined forces in ALPGRIDS, and they all have a sound knowledge in sustainable energy policies and projects at regional and local levels. And they were supported by 35 observers, DSOs, other public authorities, energy operators, providing valuable guidance in our work. So in order to achieve our main goals, 3 key objectives were set by the project partners. The first one, so being to develop some shared and I would say common, as much as possible, understanding about microgrid solutions and collective energy actions. These through pilots, but also through transnational exchanges, most of them online, of course. So collective energy actions, as Thomas was referring to it, can range from collective self-consumption, which is, I would say, was one of the main focus area for our project, right through rest production, energy transactions, aggregation, shared mobility, just to name a few. So our second objective, which is was key in implementing our action, and I would like to thank Benjamin for providing us with some insights as to the policy environment, at least at USALP level, and which is key for us in our Alpine territories. So this second objective was to really to mobilize the key policy makers, and again, this is sometimes a challenge, and develop supportive policy measures and recommendations. This was a prominent objective, especially in the EU context of this ongoing transposition of the 2 EU directives supporting energy communities. Last objective was to replicate, basically, the findings in other Alpine territories by mobilizing also other, and I would say, additional organizations and stakeholders. So just to tell you about the first objective and what was achieved, the idea was really to develop this common and shared understanding and to implement basically collective energy actions through pilots. So 8 pilots were implemented at the end in 5 countries, and we'll tell you more in a minute about these pilots. The learnings were not only technical, but also by testing configurations, but also organizational, regulatory, and also economic ones. So due to the sanitary conditions, these pilots were either based on concrete installations or simulations, and some of them are still ongoing, delivering additional results, and we'll present them to you in the next presentation. In addition to the pilots, several transnational knowledge and experience sharing workshops were organized by the project partners, and they were attended by some of you as external stakeholders to the project, but contributors to the project, such as DSOs, municipalities, key market players. So thanks again for your valuable input. And so these activities and their results actually are defined in three key deliverables that you can find online on the project website. We have some comprehensive pilot reports for each website, for each pilot site, sorry. We have topic briefs on summarizing some of our key findings in various areas. And also recently we published an online guide about the Alpine microgrids model, which by the way is available in other national languages. So moving to the second objective, so creating this enabling environment for microgrids and collective energy actions, several key activities were implemented involving policymakers at various levels. So it was the transposition of the EU directives was actually a great opportunity, obviously, to share our findings in the pilots. In order to facilitate discussions and mobilize the policymakers, which, as Benjamin said, is always could always be a challenge, we created what we call a sounding board network that was designed based on the local situations and needs. And in total, 73 actually policymakers and energy stakeholders at various levels took part in these activities and provided some valuable guidance for enhancing the policy instruments. So with their support, the project partners were able to carry out key policy-related activities, and they include so they worked on the revision of regional and local energy plans to make sure that those who did not necessarily include energy, I would say collective energy actions, or at least local energy community plans, could be enhanced with some dedicated measures. Meetings were organized with energy regulators in some countries, energy ministries, regional authorities, to discuss about the legal framework and the various measures. And as Benjamin pointed out, we organized a policy roundtable last November within USAP. So all this you can find on our project website. And coming to our last objective, so replicating and capitalizing the project results. These activities are still ongoing and will continue at least until the end of June. So we have some interesting stuff coming up that I'll mention in just a second. One of the main activities is actually the implementation of bilateral exchanges and between project partners and promoting organizations outside of the consortium. So through an open call, an EU open call, we selected 13 Alpine organizations who are benefiting from the discussions with project partners and exchanging information about collective energy actions. So this is ongoing. The other cornerstone of our replication activity is actually the organization of a summer school targeted at graduated students who could well be involved sometimes in sustainable energy planning. So the summer school consists of 1 week of online and in-person courses organized by the University of Genoa during the week of June 6 and 10 to 10. So you can still register or promote this event. As of today, so you can find online the list of replication partners also indicated here on this slide, and the summer school program and application form. So moving forward, you'll also be able to access a replication guide we're working on and coordinated by IRE Liguria, and which will provide you some guidance to basically share your findings and involve other, support other organizations. Coming up and coming soon. As I said, we will continue until the end of this summer, and with some interesting events, such as the summer school, but also regional conferences. I'd like to invite you to have a look at our website or stay tuned. There are a couple of regional conferences coming up that you will be able to attend if you will. So stay tuned and don't hesitate to ask us or have a look at our website. So with that, I think that's all from my side. I'd like to thank you very much for your attention and for being with us today. And please enjoy the conference.
Thank you, Patrick. We're running actually a good 10-15 minutes late. That's no problem. We have some buffers in between. So if there's any burning question from your side, you will have a couple of seconds to either raise your hand or use the chat. All right, then. Doesn't seem like there are any questions at this point.